What's up, everybody? It's Jason Cruz here once again with another edition of The Legal Submission. And if you can, like, subscribe, share the video, visit MMApayout.com for all the news related to the business and legal aspects of combat sports. And we are now going to be following up this episode with Luck versus McMahon. The case which involves the former commissioner of the XFL, Oliver Luck, as he had sued Vince McMahon and the parent company of the XFL, the now defunct XFL, Alpha Entertainment LLC. Now, obviously, we know that The Rock has purchased the XFL and is repackaging it for a launch sometime in 2023. But this lawsuit entails the previous owner, Vince McMahon, of course, of WWE fame, as Luck claims that he was fired without cause, and he is due the terms of his salary in the employment contract. It already came out that Vince McMahon personally guaranteed the employment contract of Luck, and as a result, McMahon is on the hook for the I believe $24 million that is due to Luck, which relates to the that were left on Oliver Luck's contract with the XFL. Now, McMahon fired Luck in April of 2020 as a result of insubordination, according to McMahon. There were three major contentions that he brought up, and now the trial is going to be boiled down to one. Now, originally, McMahon claimed that he fired Oliver Luck for cause, and in the realm of employment law, if you are, and in this particular case, if Oliver Luck was fired for cause, McMahon would not have to pay the remainder left on Oliver Luck's contract. Now, if he was fired without cause, he would, and that's the basis for this particular lawsuit. Now, McMahon is claiming that Luck did not follow company protocol for the XFL when he signed Antonio Callaway, a wide receiver, to the XFL and assigned him to the Tampa Bay Vipers. Now, this is a single entity organization, so the XFL actually signs the players and they go out to the different teams. It's not the different teams that individually sign the players. McMahon had a policy at the outset that he would not be dealing with any athletes with checkered histories, meaning criminal histories, issues related to any sort of wrongdoing or any law run-ins with the law or anything like that. He wanted to run a league that was devoid of issues, as the NFL has issues with players for a numerous amount of reasons, whether it be DUIs or domestic violence or other or assaults or any other kind of criminal activity that usually happens in the NFL. Now, Callaway had several issues in college when he was at Florida State University, I believe, and he had several run-ins with the law. Luck, regardless of what the edict was, Luck assigned Callaway. Now, Callaway only spent like a week with the XFL team before getting injured, and maybe that was a little bit to the consternation of McMahon. But still, it was determined that Callaway had a criminal history background. Now, of course, Luck is claiming that the firing for the retention of Callaway was a pretext. It was just made up because Callaway was signed in January of 2020 and Luck was fired in April of 2020. So there was a little bit of a gap there. It wasn't an immediate issue. If you believe the timeline, there was not an immediate firing. The other two issues that were thrown out earlier in a pretrial order, pretrial motion, were the allegation. What was the allegation that Luck left the job? Obviously, at the time of the pandemic in 2020, a lot of people were working from home. Luck left the offices of the XFL to return home to Indiana. And according to McMahon, that this was a sign that he had abandoned his job. Now that was thrown out. Now the other thing that was thrown out, and we'll talk about this a little bit, is that Luck retained an iPhone from the XFL company iPhone and was using it for personal use. There was the claim that he was disclosing information to a relative at Wasserman, which was against the rules. And Luck actually deleted a lot of the browser history of the phone, which resulted actually in a fine of $25,000. So that's something called spoliation of evidence, where it appears as though you are destroying evidence that might have been needed at the time of trial or to the finders of fact. Even though Luck may have done it just as to delete his history, that he didn't want people to see his what he was looking at, it still comes down to an evidentiary issue and the appearance that he was trying to hide something. So the big issues to look for in the July trial will be if Vince McMahon can prove that the signing of Antonio Callaway was in direct contradiction to his edict about signing players signing players with a criminal history. Now, it's the break in between the signing of Callaway versus when he was fired is going to be an issue that McMahon will have to surpass, or that McMahon's legal team will have to talk about. Evidence will be submitted that there were players that the XFL were looking at but did not retain because of criminal history. That the league wanted to have a different appeal for fans, that the hiring or retention of players with criminal backgrounds would hurt the image of the XFL, and that the retention of a guy like Antonio Callaway with a criminal history background would harm the reputation of the XFL as it is trying to establish itself as a league and distinguishes itself from the NFL. Those are hard things to overcome or prove. As for Oliver Luck will have to explain why he hired Callaway, the background behind that, what was his due diligence in determining his history of bad behavior or criminal behavior, and things of that nature. Now, At trial, Luck will ask for a declaratory judgment, basically a court order, saying that Luck's termination was wrongful under his employment contract, and then also that there was a breach contract by Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon, for breaching his obligations under the personal guarantee. and for McMahon's part, McMahon will attempt to show that Oliver Luck is not entitled to any compensation from his employment contract or any bonus payments in any event, because he was terminated for a cause, for a specific reason, which would be deemed a violation of his employment contract. Now, also Alpha Entertainment, the parent company XFL, is going to seek damages for the harm caused by Oliver Luck's breaches of the employment contract, including payments made to Mr. Calloway under his contract and the workers' compensation benefits for Mr. Calloway. Now, again, to remind everybody, Calloway only practiced a week with, I believe, the Tampa Bay Vipers, and then got hurt. So XFL actually had to pay him his salary as well as workers' comp salary for the time he was out and rehabbing his injury. So the court could rule actually in several ways, and one of the ways it could rule is that there was a harm made by Luck in hiring Calloway, but the resolution to that in terms of damages is for Luck to compensate the XFL with the payments made to Calloway by the XFL, as well as the workers' compensation benefits made to Calloway by the XFL. And if Luck were to pay out that restitution, he still could receive the benefits and payments and bonuses under his existing employment contract. That is a potential finding by the court, and it would work in a way where you could see that both sides win. McMahon would get the money back from the Calloway signing, as well as the payments for at the time of his injury, but Luck would also win by receiving the remainder of his employment contract. And to give those Antonio Calloway numbers to you, Alpha Entertainment, the parent company XFL, paid Antonio Calloway a total of $158,950.63, including salary and a one-time signing bonus of $125,000. They also paid a total of $29,226.09 in workers' compensation benefits for Calloway. So this is actually pretty pricey there. You were talking over $250,000 that the XFL had paid Calloway at the time he was signed and then practiced. And once again, he only was a player for the XFL for about a week before getting injured. Now, the court papers do show that McMahon wanted to terminate Calloway about the time he was injured, but they were informed by XFL executives that they could not fire him at that point because it would look as though it was retaliation. Basically, how it would work out is that you get injured and then we fire you. That doesn't seem right at all. You will, if for those that follow the NFL, what happens in terms of a player that might hurt themselves in a training camp, and they probably aren't going to make a team, that they work with the player in coming up with an injury settlement. So there won't be any sort of lawsuits related to some guy getting injured. and then being immediately cut and without any pay. At least with the NFL and their collective bargaining agreement, anybody who does try out at a training camp or something like that gets injured won't be just dropped like a broken bag of goods. So for those who want to know, Oliver Luck was paid a total of $11 million, including base salary, and one $2 million bonus payment at the time that he was let go by the XFL in April 2020. That's about a year, less than a year of being a commissioner. Actually, maybe more than that. As far as being commissioner of the XFL, however, he is seeking $24 million, which is the remaining amount due to Luck under his employment contract. And this is all due to the personal guarantee that McMahon had signed with Luck upon Luck taking the position. And again, the fact that Alpha Entertainment was in bankruptcy, and if there was no guarantee, it's unlikely that Luck would bring this lawsuit, because his lawsuit would probably be sent to the bankruptcy court and to stand in line with the other creditors at that particular juncture. Now, at this point, we will be going to trial. There was a settlement conference earlier this week, which did not last too long. And to be honest with you, at this juncture, the attorneys are less likely to settle unless a party really believes that they don't have legal footing in a court of law. This is going to be a jury trial, so there will be individuals that will determine the fate of this case, whether McMahon prevails and does not have to pay Andrew Luck any money, or Oliver Luck money, or Oliver Luck prevails and McMahon will have to pay a ton of money to Oliver Luck. Now, in the case that happens, in which Oliver Luck prevails and is due $24 million, expect an appeal. If there's a case where the court or the jury determines that Luck does owe McMahon the $250,000 it expended for the signing of Callaway, and then also believes that that Luck his employment contract was breached, we could see some sort of settlement of in a way, but I would also believe that Luck at that point would appeal as well. What I'm trying to say is this will be an interesting trial to follow, but it's probably leading to a appeal for either side. Once again, this is Jason Cruz with a legal submission. Hope you have a great day. Bye.